Today we're going to learn about symmetry and make a couple models of symmetry. You'll have to gather some materials, a scissor and some glue, a paper plate, some paper, colored paper probably, or drawing paper, and some paint and a paintbrush or a Q-tip. If you don't have paint, you could probably use markers. Symmetry is a balance of pattern self-similarity. It means parts of the object are repeated. Any figure that's divided into equal parts that are identical has symmetrical. Butterflies and humans, a lot of flowers have symmetry. And there's different kinds of symmetry. The simplest kind is reflection symmetry. One half of the shape is a reflection of the other. A butterfly is a perfect example of that. A line down the center divides it into a mirror image. Humans are also have reflection symmetry. In fact, that's called bilateral symmetry. Bi means two and lateral means side. Two sides are symmetrical. Another kind is called rotation symmetry. When you turn the object, it will look the same. It will be repeated. An example of that is flowers, propeller blades. Many things in nature have rotation symmetry. Radial symmetry is one example of rotation symmetry. Starfish have radial symmetry. Another type is translation symmetry. A pattern is repeated along a line in a different position. So one pattern here is repeated there. Ferns are a good example of that type of symmetry. Our first activity is going to be about rotation symmetry. So you could start by just drawing a daisy. That has rotation symmetry. Or you could design some arms that you will repeat several times around a central disc. So I did that. I cut out some kind of tendrils like this and copied them. Then I'm going to use my glue and put them equally distant from each other. I'll start it with one there. You probably want to make your pattern first before you glue it. I almost made that mistake. There. If I turn this image, when I'm done, it should look the same. A type of object that has rotation symmetry that really isn't radial symmetry would be like cauliflower. Now I'm going to have a central disc, so mine has radial symmetry. There I have a model of rotation symmetry. When I turn it, it looks the same. To make a model of reflection symmetry or bilateral symmetry, you'll need a paper plate, paintbrush, and some paints. So the first thing you do is take your paper plate or a cardstock circle or a piece of paper that's in the shape of a circle, fold it in half, make a crease on the center. You're only going to paint on one side of this crease. You'll paint a pattern on that side. Make anything you want. I was reading about aliens one day, and it said that they don't know much about what an alien would look like, but they do know that aliens would probably have to live in extreme environments, like where it's very hot or dry, or there might be radiation. Those are called extremophiles. But what would it look like? Well, one scientist said that it would most likely have some kind of symmetry, because in all life they've seen, there is some kind of symmetry. So I thought maybe I would make my model of bilateral symmetry into an alien. Remember to paint on only one side of the paper plate. And don't wait until it dries. You can't spend a lot of time, because if it dries, this won't work. Then after you've got your design the way you want it, fold your paper plate closed. And when you open it, the other side is exactly the same. That has bilateral symmetry. This is my alien.